Hello and welcome to the fourth edition of Pizzachan's podcast. How is everyone doing today? Hello, Doom. Thank you for being on duty. I appreciate it. Ring Banana, Micardo. We have a very, very special guest today. The great, the wonderful, the amazing Seravium. Alice, hello. Let's bring her on and find more about her, shall we? Okay. Hello, Sarah. You there?
I am. Hello. How's everybody doing tonight?
It's kind of quiet. This is really late for me, so.
I'm so sorry.
No,
Time zones.
No, it's okay. It's okay. To do a podcast with you is a good honor, great honor for me. So I will stay up as late as I need to.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh,
But
right.
hello, everybody.
Yep, everybody's filing in. Thank you, drones, for that host. Yep. So we even have our little octo in the background for you.
Ooh, woo. Yay.
With the little bubbles and everything.
I love it. I love it. It's amazing. It's absolutely perfect.
Okay, so shall we get started?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So we can start by having you tell us a little bit about yourself. What's like some of your favorite things, like your music, books, things like that.
Okay, so we'll do the easy part first. I like video games. I'm old, and so I grew up starting on the Commodore 64. My first game I ever played was Beyond Castle Wolfenstein on the Commodore 64, sitting on my dad's lap when I was like 2 or 3 years old, and it was in German, and he would have to translate it for me in English. But that kind of like sprung my love of gaming, and he always like had computer games and stuff with us. And then my grandparents ended up buying my brother and I a Nintendo in the 80s when they came out, and we got Dragon Warrior 1, which is now called Dragon Quest, because they fixed the name. And I was like, okay, this is it, because I like dragons and fairies and princesses and all of that kind of cool stuff. And so that like solidified. I was like, I'm gonna be a gamer for the rest of my life.
And
Squishmallows.
And
Squishmallows. And then thus you have what I am now. So yeah, so I love video games. I'm a huge like fantasy and like mystery book reader, and same thing with like movies and TV shows. Like if it's like mystery or like science fiction, then I'm like all over that. And then let's see, I like to go hiking. I live in the mountains, but I like to go hiking, and my dad and I have like hiked all over the United States, all over like a bunch of national parks and stuff. So
that's cool.
that's like what we do on like our like downtime. And then I'm a huge anime nerd, and so I don't really read a lot of manga, but I love watching anime and anything that's like
ask
gore.
What your favorite anime is?
Okay, so that's kind of hard because I have like a couple. So I can't tell you like favorites are so hard for me because it's like what mood am I in? So anime, I really like Ghost in the Shell and Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. It's one of my favorites. And then Psychopaths, if anybody's seen that, and Corpse Party, of course.
Yes,
and then anything and Future Diary, because like I love anything that's like gory and kind of fucked up, and like if you're like I don't know if I should show this to my friend because they might not be my friend anymore, that's the kind of anime I like. Yeah, but you end up finding the most like amazing people because you're like, this is questionable. And then when they're like, oh, I like this too, then I'm like, good, I'm not a freak. This is awesome. So yeah, I like really like dark horror anime. I like stuff that I don't like mega series. And what I mean by like mega series is if it like legitimately goes past like 3 seasons, I'm kind of like, I'm done with this. So yeah, Bible Black is a great anime, Mercado, and I have not seen Dororo, so, but yes, I do like Bible Black.
Not judging.
Bible Black is great. But yeah, so I don't know, just a lot of stuff like that. I like art.
And horror,
Music.
obviously.
And horror. I'm a big metalhead and like electronic music person, so back in the day when there was raves.
Raves.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
90s
I remember that.
raves.
See, now I'm
90s
dating
raves.
myself.
And now I just go to like metal concerts. So
that's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good collection of things. So what is the obsession with Squishmallows? I have to ask.
Okay, so like it's weird because like as a kid, like I always liked toys. I had like Legos and My Little Ponies and like stuffed animals, but like I love whatever the material they make Squishmallows out of. They are so damn soft, and you're just like, and they have like the stupidest little faces. They're just like beady little eyes and a tiny little smile, and they're always smiling. Like I have a huge collection of plushies in my room. I have more plushies now as an adult than I ever did as a kid. And it's probably why I like Dragon Quest so much, is because slimes, like Dragon Quest slimes, are just like beady little eyes and a tiny little mouth, like a tiny little smiley mouth. And I've always liked them ever since I was a kid. And Squishmallows kind of remind me of that. And so, like, they're just so simplistic. Like, they're not like a complicated toy, and they're just, I don't know, whatever they make that stuff out of, it is just the most snuggly material ever. And I'm like, can you just wrap me in that? But yeah, I absolutely love them. I think they're so cute and stupid. And I told my niece, I was like, don't let anybody talk you down or give you crap for liking what you like, no matter what your age. And she's like, okay.
Exactly. How many do you have?
Oh my gosh, I lost count. We tried to count the other day with my niece, and she can't count that high. So, yeah, it's a lot. I think I'm like almost pushing triple digits. So,
oh, no. You're gonna need a room just for them.
yeah, I live in a 2-story townhouse, and I'm like, I'm gonna need a whole nother room for these really soon because they are for my bedroom. Yeah, I'm like, I need a house, and if I have a house, there's just gonna be like a plushie pit, like a big, yeah, like like a ball pit, but for adults. But it's just be plushies, and so then you can just go in there and like dive bomb in it, and just be like, this
Especially
is
after
nice.
a long day, just plop in your Squishmallows and just lay there. It'd be great.
Yeah, it'll be like a nice squishy floor with like a mattress, and then just Squishmallows everywhere, and you could just like plop down and be like, comfy.
Hashtag dreams.
Right, exactly. Ring banana plushie pit sounds amazing.
It does.
So
it does. Okay, so that's that for that. So we know a little bit more about you. So I'm gonna have to ask about the adorable anime voices. Do you have published work somewhere?
no, I don't. And like the anime voice is like, it was honestly a shit post. So like I was streaming one day, and we were playing Mad Father, and this was like 2 years ago. And if you've never played Mad Father, it's like a RPG pixelated like adventure game.
I have played Mad Father.
Yeah, and so I was, like I read everything when I stream, right? And so I wanted to try and like change it up a little bit so it wouldn't just be like the same voice for everything. And so the nurse, like doctor assistant for the dad, like we decided that she was going to have like this like naughty nurse voice. And like somehow it just morphed into like a childlike anime voice, which doesn't make sense because that should have been for the main character. And like honestly, that's where it came out of. Like I just started doing it because I was bored one day on stream, and then people ended up really liking it, and I was like, okay, I guess we'll just like roll with it. And then it sort of just like exploded from there, and I was like,
part of your intro now.
yeah. And like, yeah, it was kind of one of those things that like people were like, can you do like a voice recording for me for like my stream, and like, can you do this? And I was like, oh, okay. And as like, a streamer that doesn't use a camera, like all you have is your voice. So you were just like, okay, let me try and figure out different ways to make it unique. And like I said, it's just kind of like, it's kind of become who I am with it. And my niece doesn't believe the voice is me. She still thinks it's somebody else. Like, she's like, no, Auntie can't make that voice. And I like do it in front of her, and she's like, it's not you. And she just thinks it's the weirdest thing ever. But yeah, I've been told I need to do like voice acting or do something like that. I just I'll be honest with you, I've been lazy and just honestly haven't had a lot of time to look too much into it. Like, I have friends here on Twitch that do voice acting, and they're just like, yeah, make a demo tape. And I'm like, how do you even do that? But I think if I ever did do it, like a demo tape or something like that, I'd send it in just to see what happens.
Yeah, I thought you did it professionally, so that's why you sounded so good. That's why I had to ask about it.
No, not at all. Like, yeah, it was just kind of one of those, like, let's try and make this more entertaining. And then suddenly it was like, oh shit. You know,
cool,
and then it just evolved from there.
Well, at least you make your little notes and memos in your journals more interesting with that.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, it turns into a hilarity most of the time when, you know, it's like part of channel points rewards and stuff.
That's cool. Pretty cool. Okay. Squeaky, squeaky. Oh, thank you, Des, for the host. So I'm going to ask you about Twitch stuff now.
Sure.
Yeah. Why did you start Twitch?
So I used to, okay, so you guys are gonna laugh at this, but like I used to be really, really big into Destiny 1 and 2, and I used to run with like it was called the Dads of Destiny. I was the only girl in the Dads of Destiny clan because like they were all men and all dads. But somehow I got into that clan, even though they knew I was a girl. And so I played Destiny 1 and 2 a lot, like a lot. And like the first time I ever streamed, it wasn't really to like do anything with Twitch. It was just to stream a raid so that the people that weren't in the raid could see what we were doing and like learn how to do the raid. Yeah, I'm a gamer dad, totally does games. And then so that is kind of like where I would say I first sort of started, was just like from my PS4 I would stream the raids. But unfortunately, and like unsurprisingly, being the only female in like a 60-person male clan led to a lot of like sexual harassment and like degradation, and just it wore me down after a while. And I kind of I was switching jobs, and I was like, I ended up quitting Destiny. I quit my clan because I just couldn't take their crap anymore. And I moved over to my new job. And in my new job, like I could listen to things in the background, and sometimes I would listen to music, but I started listening in on Twitch streams, and I came across a streamer by the name of Dame Butter the Fourth and Ekadicus, which I talk about both of them very often. And I was watching them, and I'm like, okay, well, Ekadicus plays any horror game he wants all the time. He speedruns them. Sometimes he plays casual. But then Dame Butter the Fourth, he doesn't use a camera. He only has his voice. He plays all his horror games that he wants to play. And I'll write his name in the chat because he's a lovely content creator. If you've never checked him out, he is the reason I stream. And he's from Brunei, which is a country on the island of Borneo. And he is one of the most entertaining people I've ever watched that didn't have a camera. He just played the game at his speed and did whatever he wanted on his stream. And I was like, I kind of want to do that. Like, I don't think I'm entertaining enough to like play an RPG because I get really distracted. And you're sitting there like grinding levels and things like that. And I was like, but I always had a love for horror games, and I have a huge library of horror games. And I was like, maybe I should go back to just playing, single player games that stop when I stop. I don't have to deal with multiplayer. I don't have to deal with people, sexually harassing me and things like that. And I felt like I could have more control, but still have like a community, or at least rebuild or build a community, and still talk to people about video games and enjoy video games. And that's really what started me on Twitch. And I kind of mentioned it to my brother, and he was like, okay, let's look into like a capture card, and let's figure out an audio, and like let's figure out a microphone for you and stuff. And it just kind of blossomed from there. So yeah,
I can't picture
main
you
what
playing
I did was
Destiny.
yeah, the main reason I started Twitch was to get away from toxic masculinity on Destiny. So thank you to all the assholes on Destiny 1 and 2 that I used to play with, because I would not be where I'm at right now.
Yeah, you hear that,
Yeah.
guys? She's an awesome horror streamer now.
Yeah,
Okay?
I would not be doing what I was doing if I didn't just finally, say enough's enough, and say like I want to take back control and not be harassed constantly. And little did I know that like Twitch is a cesspool of harassment, but yeah, naivety, but
Oh, I'm
for
sorry.
that,
That is
yeah.
loud as heck.
Yay, raid.
I wasn't expecting that. Shh. Who is raiding me? Oh. Thank you, Luna, for the raid. Welcome on in, guys. We're doing a podcast with the great Seravium today.
Oh, hi. Welcome in. Thank you for the raid to the lovely Pizzachan.
Look at all these beautiful people. Hi, guys. Hi. Okay. But yeah, I can't see you playing Destiny, but I bet everybody has that one game. It's like, I can't believe you play that. But
yeah, it was a gift from like Destiny 1 was a gift from my friend Spiff Dragon, and he was like, come play with me, and I was like, okay. And then I used to play MMOs. Like I grew up playing EverQuest 1 and EverQuest 2, not World of Warcraft, but EverQuest 1 originally, like back when it launched in like 1999. And so I was used to playing like online games with other people, and for whatever reason, like Destiny just like hit the spot of like, I get to murder things. This is kind of fun. We've got dailies. And then you know how it is with like MMOs, you get sucked in.
Mine was a Division. I played the
Yeah.
Division a lot.
And and I played the Division with the same group of people as well. So yeah, I did play the Division as well. So yeah, it was, you kind of get in your routine when you start playing with like a group of people. But yeah, absolutely. It was, I love the game.
Toxicity is really high in those games though. So
yeah, and I especially like for female and female presenting individuals, like it can just be really awful sometimes. And yeah, and even though I carried their ass through that game half the time.
You backpacked them all the way, did you?
Yeah, I totally backpacked them all the way. Like, sometimes you just...
Yeah, you just don't. That. So why the name Seravium?
Okay, so my character's name back in EverQuest, back in 1999, was named Kelvena Seravium, and Kelvena is from Xenogears, which is one of my favorite JRPGs.
Oh, yeah.
And Seravium is a last name that I made up. And it like kind of like loosely translates to like of the birds. And so my character was a ranger back on EverQuest days. And so when I was making my Twitch channel, Kelvena is not available. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just go by Seravium, which was the surname, and that was available. And there we go. So yeah, I've had that name for like 20, 22, 23 years, something crazy like that. So it's just one of those ones where like when your online handle fits, you just don't change it. So
yeah, you just kind of go with it. It's like, that's comfortable, I'll use that. But it's really cool that it has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, and everybody shortens it to Sarah, and like SERA, which is the first 4 letters of it. And that comes from Dame Butter the Fourth, is when I was hanging out in his stream. Because he speaks Malay and English, like his English is really good, but for whatever reason, he could not say Seravium. He kept fumbling over it so fucking much that he's like, I'm just going to call you Sarah, which is the first 4 letters. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So.
Thank you for that sub, MJ.
Yay, resubs.
Yes.
And yeah, so he called me Sarah and it stuck. And so, yeah, so the shortened version of Seravium down to Sarah is because of Dame Butter the Fourth and his inability to pronounce it properly because of his, because of his accent.
It's
So
still cute though.
yeah, it was really cute. So, and that's kind of how it rolls.
Okay, so little octopuses. Why did you decide that for your emote? You've had some pretty big problems with your emotes in the past too.
Yeah, so my favorite animal is the octopus. Like I love octopi. I just think they're the most fascinating creatures. They have the intelligence of like a human. Like they're smarter than like primates, which is crazy. And their intelligence is so well constructed that like it's illegal in most countries to do experiments on octopi because they are considered sentient. And I think they're just the most fascinating creatures. Like they, over the years of evolution, they have not changed very much. They're such like a perfect little creature, and they're just so weird looking. And I like the little way that they grab onto stuff with their tentacles. I don't know why. I just think it's super cute. And so, something that my mentor Ekadikis, another streamer, he kind of pounded into me when I first started streaming because he was like, "Oh, I'm taking an interest in you." And like he said, branding. If you want to do well on Twitch, branding. And so he said, think about Nike, think about Adidas, think about Google. You see that icon and you know exactly what it is. You see that swoosh mark, you see those symbols, you see the Pepsi sign and you know exactly what that is. He's like, same thing works for Twitch. He's like, pick pick something and roll with it. And I I kind of liked having my little avatar which looks like me, but I was like, you know what? Like there's so many like human looking avatars on Twitch. Um I'm going to roll with an animal, and so I picked the octopus, and my favorite color is purple, so it turned into a little purple octopus. And the emotes that you see now are actually my second set of emotes. I had a wholly different set of emotes from a wholly different artist, which was a friend when I first started. And then when I got introduced to my current emo artist, Hannah Khan, she redid all of them for me. And I mean, you don't see as many octopi across Twitch. Like I've seen some, but you don't see a ton. Like of like the people that have animal emotes, you just
That's
don't.
true.
It's not
That's
one
true.
that's common. Like you see like dogs and cats and like bears and the
Bunnies.
bunnies, like that's sort of like your like standard pet thing. But like any aquatic animals or any like birds or something, that's a very unique animal to kind of take hold of. So yeah, pretty much anywhere somebody sees a purple octopus, it kind of gets associated with you after a while.
Mm-hmm.
So that works out really well with branding. And then yeah, that being said, I did have my emote stolen about back in February, March. I got notified by my emote artist that somebody like she had posted. She's still in college in the UK, and so as part of like their schooling, like she had some of the emotes that she had done for me up on like her school's it was like Adobe or something, one of their like portfolios, and the person had found it online, downloaded them, and uploaded them to their channel. And then after they already did it, they contacted her and asked them if they could buy them off of her after they already stole the emotes.
Oh.
And so she like emails me, she's in the UK and I'm in the United States, and she emails me like panicked, like what do I do? And so luckily I've actually had helped a couple of people go through like DMC takedowns before, and I had like, here's the deal. If you've got cute emotes, it's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to you. Anybody that has cute emotes, no matter, especially if they're animal based, because, like once again, people based ones, that's kind of harder to steal because it obviously doesn't look like you. But if you've got animal based emotes, like it's like a 98% chance you're going to get them absolutely stolen at some point. So you've got to learn how to deal with DMC takedowns with Twitch. And he actually funny enough, sent my emotes over to an Etsy seamstress who printed my hello waving octopus emote to put onto a blanket for a charity person that they were part of this like gaming group. And I am just like, I'm a huge charity streamer. If like they liked that emote so much, I would have done something. But like, yeah, so I had to go through the whole DMCA process, and then after that, and all of us know that like emotes are so expensive, and you put a lot of time and you put a lot of money into the artwork that's on your channel, especially if you're not somebody that's artistically challenged. Like I can't draw stick figures, but like, and it's so frustrating. And that's when my family was like, my family is actually really supports me on Twitch and they back me up. And my dad was like, that's it. Like, let's go talk to a trademark lawyer. And yeah, so I'm in the process of trademark in the United States takes forever, by the way. And so like all my emotes are now in the United States Trademark Office. All my emotes getting copyrighted, and then Seravium, my little laughing Seravium, and my Octopus Hello are actually getting official trademarks. But yeah, so that's been in the works since April.
You have quite a support group there, though.
Yeah. So I sold off all my magic cards to pay for the lawyer fees.
Oh my god, that must have been a lot of cards.
I started collecting magic cards back when I was like 10 or 11. So I had a whole set of like really well conditioned, like unlimited and revised editions, and so like I sold them off to somebody online, and ended up using all that money towards my trademark. And my artist was really good because she was signing over all the paperwork and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, I got a nice crash course in copyright and trademark law for the United States when all that happened. But the more you know, right?
Yeah, Sarah is like the plethora of all kinds of information about Discord safety, and she has all kinds of links and stuff in her Discord about bots and banning and all of that. It's very informative. I was enlightened about the PayPal thing. I was like, oh my god, I didn't even think about that. I was using my regular information, and it was like, okay, no.
Yeah, and everything that I've posted in in my Discord and other Discords and things like that, it's all been from either a really terrible experience or trial and error. Yeah, with the whole PayPal thing, I actually had an online stalker who is on Twitch and is still on Twitch. That's a whole nother situation. But yeah, anyway, they found out my info because I didn't have a business PayPal account. I had a personal PayPal account, and that exposes all of your real name and all of that info. And that's how they got my information. And I have a very unique real name. And so they were able to look me up and find out where I live and find out where I work. And so like all of the things that I've learned with Discord security, and my lovely moderator, James Bunch of Numbers, who has like been part of this fiasco since the beginning. Like we have learned how to do Discord security. We have learned how to do PayPal security. We have learned how to do DMCAs. And so like all of this has come about because of all the negative situations that I've been in. And I think that like when you learn how to make things right and make things correct and make things safe, you share that information. Because like when I started streaming, I didn't know that like they could see, they tipped me through Streamlabs tips with PayPal, and suddenly they could actually see all my information. Like I didn't know that. I thought Streamlabs was protecting me. And I didn't know that they weren't. And I didn't know that PayPal was showing all this information. And so like, unfortunately, like all the negative situations that have occurred to me while on Twitch have turned into a positive and something that I can share back with other streamers and other members of the community just to like help protect their identity and just make their discords more safe and things like that.
Yeah, I'm sorry you had to go through that, but yeah, you have the Fort Knox of discords.
Yeah, and I really attribute that to my moderator James Bunch of Numbers. I ran into him on he was a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend on Twitch, and somehow like wandered into my stream during a raid, and we ended up becoming like really good friends. And I found out that like he just has this really good aptitude towards things like that. And I was like, you know, eventually when I was like, hey, you want to be my mod? And then later on, I'm like, you want to handle my Discord? Because like I'm dumb and I don't even know how to do this. And he has embraced it and taken it over and then kind of spearheaded. And I kind of told him what I want. I was like, I want this, you know, I want followers only. I want to be able to boot people. I want to be able to see what messages get popped up and changed. Like, I want all this stuff. And he was like, I got you. And so he worked with it. And then I was like, we need to share this with other people. And so, you know, he's been such a guru in so many other channels, but like I didn't do it on my own. Like nothing that I do on Twitch, I do on my own. Like I have such a support system of moderators and artists and musicians and other Twitch streamers that have like, you know, it's really like a community to kind of get you to where you are.
Yeah, you have an amazing team. You guys work well together.
I love them.
It's a driving force. Sarah's community is the best community, I swear to God. I love them. I feel safe there. So it's a place I hang out, you know, lay in bed and got my Octo Cozy mug with my hot chocolate. And it's like chilling and watching, you know? So yeah.
Well, that's the goal. That was always the goal, was to make a place where like I didn't feel alienated and make sure, you know, because I didn't want to recreate the toxicity or the alienation or just like the negativity that I experienced when I was playing Destiny. And so like that was kind of one of my goals, was I was like, I don't want people to feel like they can't be heard or can't talk and can't speak and can't be safe here. But on the flip side, I'm not gonna put up with anybody's shit, because like my stream is my home and you don't go walk into somebody's house and poop on their carpet. So
what a good way to say that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of what I tell people. I was like, you always have the ability to get rid of people out of your stream and out of your Discord and out of your community if they are abusing your like kindness and they're abusing your home, essentially, because you know, your Twitch stream is your home, and anybody that decides that they are going to be a jerk or, you know, not supportive or, you know, trolling on your stream, just like get rid of them. There's, you know, what is it, like 30,000 partners, like 100,000 affiliates, and over like almost a billion people that watch Twitch. Like a dozen people, 2 dozen people, 3 dozen people, it's not gonna make a difference because there's so many more awesome people out there.
It's true. It's true. Oop, dropped my cap. Always drop my water bottle cap on the floor and then I have to go and chase it. Oh, okay. But yeah, you have one of the most welcoming communities too. I mean, a lot of partners, you go into their stream and they completely ignore you or give you a hi. But you're like, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, this is nice. I like this.
Yeah, and I want people to feel like cozy and comfortable and like, you know, welcome in my stream. I think like at a certain point, like depending on the size of your stream and how crazy your chat's going, like that can be a definite challenge, right? At some point, like you just can't do that. But while you have the ability to acknowledge everybody that chooses to spend their time watching a random person online playing a video game that they could probably sit down and play themselves, like you have to take that into consideration, that like somebody is actually choosing to spend their time with you and choosing to want to actively engage with you. And I think that's the beauty about Twitch, because we can all go onto YouTube and watch somebody do a let's play, right? And there's not going to be any interaction. But I think that's why people come over to Twitch and, you know, and other gaming services like Twitch, is because they want that interaction with the person. So if you're not giving that to them, what are you providing that's different than watching a YouTube video.
Exactly. It's pretty cool. But guys, go follow Sarah like right now because she's amazing. So how long have you been streaming, Sarah?
I started, okay, so like I said, I sort of did like random streams just to showcase like raids on Destiny, but I don't really consider that like streaming. I just did that out of necessity. Like, so I consider my stream anniversary December 19th of 2018, as like when I finally was like, I'm gonna do this. Like, let's do this as a hobby and see where this goes. And, you know, let's do this and see with what I can do with it and see if I have fun with it. So yeah, what is that? I'm coming upon my 3-year anniversary here in December.
Yep, around 3 years.
Yeah, 3-year anniversary for my stream anniversaries in December, and my partner anniversary is next month. So yay for that!
How long have you been a partner now?
I'm not even a year yet. So like next month will be my 1-year anniversary towards being a partner, which is something that like I really didn't have that goal at all when I started because I didn't even know what a partner was, and B, like, I never thought would be possible being a cameraless streamer, and especially a female cameraless streamer, because I still feel like there's a lot of push for all genders, but especially like female and female presenting to have a camera because people are like, I want to see your tits. I want to see how pretty you are because you're worth it in video games is based on how pretty you are, not like how, you know, how good you can play a game or how entertaining you can be. So yeah, I never thought I would ever get to that point. I've never used a camera on stream. Not once.
Wow.
Not once.
Nice. I use it for my rats.
Yeah. So all I can say is you can do it without a camera. There's a lot of us out there, you know, Admiral Baru. Yeah, well, and then you know, with the rise of like VTubers out there and people using VTuber models. I mean, I know they're using a camera to make their VTuber model, but you know what I'm saying? It's not like their actual self, it's their, you know, avatar persona. But it's kind of showing that like you really don't need a camera. It's all about
showmanship.
It's all about entertainment and showmanship, and you know, there's kind of like two sides of the coin for that as well. You know, I am what I am. Like, if you meet me in person, like I'm exactly the same as I am online. Like, and then there's some people that have like a persona and do sort of like an entertainment kind of I want to say like an alter personality when they're streaming. And so there's two kind of like sides to how you choose to stream, and both of them are okay. You just got to pick one and roll with it.
That's cool. All right. So when you first started streaming, what was the most difficult thing to adapt to?
I think for me, it was actually like talking, because I'm a quiet gamer. Like, I would just, when I play video games, like I hone in and I'm dead silent, and I can, you know, get lost in my own head and get lost in what I was doing. And so I had to like learn how to talk out loud, and like even if nobody was watching at the time, you know, you're streaming to nobody, or you're streaming to one person, or you're streaming to 5 people, to, you know, constantly be talking, constantly be like, whatever is going on in your head, whatever thought process you have in your head, to actually like vocalize that out loud. And that's kind of weird because it's like feels like you're talking to yourself, and you kind of are, but like once people start interacting back with you in chat, it gets a lot easier. But yeah, that was the hardest part for me, because like it does not come natural to me at all.
They're saying that I'm quieter than you, which is funny. Because I'm always louder than everybody. It's probably because I'm trying to lower my voice, not to drown you out, because I have a boomy voice.
No, you go ahead.
And I have a little bit of a sore throat too, so I'm trying not to scream and yell like an idiot.
Oh no.
Yeah, somebody at my work is sick, and I bet I got a weak immune system, so hello colds.
Yeah, I understand that.
even though I walk around with like a tub of hand sanitizer and a mask and everything, you know, when you work with people every day, oh, but still, you can't manage to get sick anyway.
Yeah, I'm back in the office too, 2 days a week, and we're on full mask mandate. But anytime somebody kind of walks by my office, I'm like,
yeah, you're like putting
get
that
away.
ruler out. Stay back, please.
Well, we're actually pretty good. Most of us are like 6 feet all the time, so.
But you have
Try
your own
not
little
to get each other
private
sick.
office, don't you?
Well, that's recently new. So I used to be 4 floors above where I'm at, in the middle of a cell bio research lab, right outside my boss's office. And due to several influencing factors like my fibromyalgia, my migraines, and the stalker situation, I had put in a request to get moved to a private office. A, so that we could wipe where my office location was, and B, some of my medication is like, especially for like my migraines, if I get a mega migraine at work, I have kind of like these rescue medications, but the problem with them is that it knocks me out. Like, it can knock me out for 4 to 6 hours. And when I mean knockout, it's like blackout knockout, like you could do anything to me. And so in my previous office, which was kind of like in an open area lab, essentially like a desk in an open area lab, people can come and go and move around, and there wasn't anywhere to like lie down. It wasn't like locked up and safe. And then I was also huffing various chemicals all day long, which wasn't really good for my migraines. And so I put in some disability paperwork with my work, and I was like, this isn't working. And so they moved me down to my current office. So it's a lot safer because I can lock the door. So if I have to lie down and rest, or if I have to take one of my medications, I can close my door and it's locked and it's private. And my new couch furniture just came in today. So now I'm not like passing out on the floor in my office. I got like a little, like a 2-seater love seat couch that I can curl up on and take a rest if I have to. So I'm very thankful that I have a good job that is understanding and accommodating and allows for, that, disability accessibility, especially for something that's not, it's not like I'm missing an arm or a leg, or, my like disability is not transparent, right? You can't tell when somebody has like a migraine issue or fibromyalgia because it's not,
having them both. Oh my god, I couldn't even imagine having them both.
Yeah, it's not like a transparent thing. And so when you say disability, people expect you to be like, missing limbs or in a wheelchair or something, which is a valid disability, but like not every disability is visible. And so, but yeah, I'm very thankful to work for a location that has been very good about accommodating my changing needs. So
that is really amazing. Yeah, it's hard to find a place that'll help you out there. Most people will just say, "No, we can't do that," but that's good.
Yeah, I mean, not that I didn't have to fill out a ton of paperwork and doctor's visits and all of that to make it possible, but I think that's you covering your ass and your job covering their butt, with all the paperwork and stuff. But for them to not figure out a legal way to fire you, and instead they're like, no, we want to keep you, let's see what we can do to accommodate this, has been really, really amazing. So
pretty cool. Oh, okay, I got something in my eye now.
Oh no, we lick your eye.
I wish I could. That would be weird, licking your own eye. Things I think about. Okay, so you have done multiple charity events for different causes. I've seen the Fuck Cancer one, and you've done a few others. Do you have any more of those planned for the future?
I'm actually on Scarathon tomorrow night, so twitch.tv /Scarathon TV. Scarathon is a group of people run by mostly Ravenheart and I Am Brandon and SwiftyMo. They put on 2 Scare-a-thon events every year. They do one for Halloween, and then they do one in the spring for St. Jude's charity. But essentially, they grab a bunch of people that play horror games. You put in applications for it, and you get a 2-hour segment on Scare-a-thon to play whatever game you want. It's not like speed running or anything like that. It's just casual gameplay of a horror game for charity. And so this Friday at 4 p.m. U.S. Pacific time, I'll be on the Scare-a-thon channel playing Horror Tale the Wine, and they're raising money for Gamers Outreach, which is an organization that makes essentially like these really cool portable gaming stations, and they bring them into hospitals. And they go to kids that are terminally ill or long-term care in hospitals. And so essentially it's like computers and like Xboxes and PlayStation systems, but they're on these like wheelie they're all like, there's a monitor attached to it, and like they're on these like wheeling around stations that are really portable, that they can move around to all the rooms, so that all these kids that are stuck in these hospitals actually have something to do and have a little bit sense of like normalcy through just like hanging out and gaming. So it's for the kids, and I'm always happy and excited whenever I get picked to be on Scare-a-thon, because they're just a great group of people, always doing good work.
How many years have you done with Scare-a-thon?
So last Halloween was my first time on Scare-a-thon. Because I got a message from Ekadikis, who once again he's been my Twitch mentor since I started. He was like, yeah, you should get in on this Scare-a-thon thing. He's like, I really think it would like help your channel. I think you'll meet some really cool people. Like, it's all about horror stuff, and you like doing charity. And so he kind of pushed me over towards Ravenheart, and that's where I learned about it. And I was like, okay, I'm like this nobody affiliate that nobody knows. Like, sure, let me put in an application. And I ended up getting in, and I got really excited. It was so much fun, and it's so nerve-wracking. It was the first time I've ever like streamed on somebody else's channel. And like they go onto the front page all the time, and I've never like personally ever been on the front page before, but Scare-a-thon's been on front page, and like I've been live while Scare-a-thon was on the front page, and like, God, it's so nerve-wracking. It's so scary. And yeah, so I did the Halloween last year, and then I got accepted into their spring St. Jude's, and then again this year. So 3 times so far. But yeah, they've been going for many, many, many years, and they've raised like, I think, I don't even know what their total is up to now, but hundreds of thousands of dollars for various charities. So feels good doing something good.
Nominated for an award too, weren't you? For charity?
Yeah, the Game Hers Award. I know like quite a few of us got nominated into the Game Hers Award. I didn't get into the finals, but that's okay. It was still pretty cool to get nominated.
That's a big thing. You should put a little post-it up on the wall. I was nominated, because that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty fun to just be like nominated for. I got nominated for Charity Streamer of the Year, Twitch Streamer of the Year, and like new like Rising Stars. It's like new content creation. So I thought that was pretty awesome to be nominated towards all of that.
See, chat, I told you she's a celebrity.
Not really. Not really.
It's just super cool, that's all. To be nominated for stuff and do all this good and have a great community and just don't take shit from anybody. You're just awesome. So, but
well,
everybody knows
I do take shit, but I've learned to. It's a learning process, Like I watch other streamers and I see how they handle negativity, and I don't always handle negativity with the most like grace, but that's me as a person, so whatever. But yeah, you just kind of roll with the punches and hopefully learn from it, and then do better the next time. Is all I can say. Do better the next time, because something I've learned with Twitch is it's the entertainment business, and the entertainment business is messy.
It's not kind.
It's not kind. It's really messy, and so it's not fit for everybody. And like not that you have to take it like a champ. You don't have to take it like a champ, but you have to learn how to deal with it like a champ. So, and learn how to, like, you know, when to open your mouth and when to shut your mouth. And yeah, that's continually a learning process.
You guys taking notes?
Continually a learning process. But you know, it's one of those things that, like, if I come in upon a situation where I'm streaming and I'm like, I don't fucking know how to handle this, you know, not like exactly like when I'm live or anything, but like if a situation presents me on Twitch, like I actually go back to the people that have supported me throughout my very few years streaming. I go back to my friend Dame. I go back to Ecodicus. I go back to people like Anaternal Enigma. I go back to Bobo Chet, who's my stream team leader. I go back to people like that have been on the platform for a hell of a lot longer than I have, who are successful in their own ways. And I find that all of them are very wise in their recommendations because they've all dealt with various situations on Twitch. And I'm like, this is what happened. Like, how do I deal with this? And, you know, they can give you some good advice, and then you kind of just, you also go with your gut instinct on things, and that's just how it goes. So, but yeah, again, it's never an alone process. It's a community effort, and it's always reaching back out to those people that continually support you, and hopefully you have a good relationship and a good friendship with, and can go to them for whatever you need. So when I tell people about networking, that's what I mean. It's not about like you getting your name out there and trying to be like popular with people. It's actually like attempting to make genuine connections with people, because like they're the people that are going to back you up when shit hits the fan, or when you need advice, or when you need inspiration.
Exactly. That's awesome that you have all these people to go to for situations. I don't even know how you deal with that many people in chat. I go crazy if there's over a certain amount. It's like, oh, the anxiety goes up. It's like, okay, relax. But that's pretty cool.
I mean, it's definitely like a learning curve. I think the first time I ever had somebody raid me with like more than like 50 people, I almost shit my pants. I was like, oh my God, look at all these people. And then, you know, you get a raid with like 100, and then 200 and 300. And then I think my largest raid I've had was like 800. And you're just like, what do you do with this? Like, you know, like, hi, you know,
what do I do with this number?
Yeah, right. Well, most of them are probably going to drop off anyway, you know? So, and you can't take that to heart. Like, most people are, you know, going to drop off anyway, but don't look at everybody says don't look at the numbers. Everybody looks at the numbers.
Everybody looks at the numbers.
Don't
lie, you look at the numbers.
Everybody looks at the numbers. And so anybody that says don't look at the numbers, like, I never look at the numbers. They're full of shit, because everybody
you know they're looking.
Everybody looks at the fucking numbers. And yeah, so you gotta just, like, you know, at a certain point, it hopefully just doesn't phase you anymore, and you're just like, I'm still gonna roll, whether my chat's like completely dead and nobody's talking, or suddenly is a chaos and I can't even keep up, and you just have to like pick and choose.
Yeah,
exactly. Dust Games, everybody looks at the fucking numbers.
Like, they tell you they don't, but they do.
At the numbers. Anybody that doesn't look at their stats, doesn't look at how many people are sitting in their chat, like, I say you're full of shit. So 100% full of shit. Yeah,
when I first started, I kept staring at that number. It's like, would you stop looking at it? So
yeah, it can be really anxiety, and it can definitely fuck with your psyche and fuck with your like positivity. And all I have to say is just like, you know, and it still does. I'm not going to say that it doesn't change. Like, every now and then I'm just like, God, what the fuck? Like, my numbers are low tonight. Like, do I suck? Do people hate me? Am I like not the cool thing anymore? Like, you know, and then you have to like be like, shut up. No, you have to tell yourself to shut up, and you have to be like, no, because why are you doing this to begin with? Right? Like, why are you streaming to begin with? And like, for me, it was a hobby and to meet people and to play video games. It was never for me a choice for like a career choice or anything. Like, I don't do this for income. I don't do this, you know, as my career, and it's completely fine if somebody chooses to do that. It's just not my goal. But yeah, and I have to be like, wait, it doesn't matter if you had 4 people in your channel or 400. Like, you're doing this because you like video games, and you'd be playing them anyways, so why not stream them? Right. You know?
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I did it because I was lonely and I had nothing to do. I was home all the time because I had was getting chemo treatment. So I was like, yeah, let's do something else for fun to keep my brain occupied and things like that. So I made a lot of friends. I was like, yay, look at all these awesome people.
Right. And you end up finding a lot of people you can kind of connect with. And I think that's the beauty of Twitch. And I think that, like, especially if you're like staring at numbers and you're staring at stats and they're making you depressed, like,
Mm-hmm.
you've got to switch your brain over and remember why you were there to begin with. Like,
Exactly.
you
Mm-hmm.
know, we're all nerds, we're all gamers, we'd be playing video games anyway. And we're all here just to hopefully, whether or not you're doing it as a career or not, a side note, but like, we're all here to have fun and just like interact with other people and share our love for gaming. And you would be talking to one person, your best friend, about video games. And so why is that any different? You know?
Uh-oh. Looks like
So
Drones has a question.
why turn the view count off? Easier just to vibe and be myself without getting anxiety over dumb shit.
It's
Yeah,
true.
and like a lot of people end up turning off their viewer count, and I applaud the people that can keep that off and honestly keep it off, Arius, because like I fucking can't. Like I've tried doing that and then I just like hover back over and click on because like curiosity kills the cat and
Yeah.
like yeah, so I applaud anybody that can turn off the view count. I can't. I don't have that kind of strength. I keep staring at it and I still stare at it even now.
It's a hard habit to break to go, oh god, why wait, 17, 16, 17, 16, oh, why did they leave?
Well, yeah, and especially like when you're trying to push for affiliate, you're like, do I have that 3-person in here? Like, am I
Mm-hmm.
getting enough people? And then slowly you're like, okay, now I've got 20, now I've got 30, now I've got 40. Okay, am I getting close to that 75 mark for partner? And then you're like, am I holding the 75 mark for partner? And like, it doesn't fucking stop. Now, like, I'll admit, like, when I finally hit partner and got the little check mark and everything, I was like, I don't fucking care how many people are in my channel because like I've already done their stupid Twitch, metrics, which makes the statistics and the metrics needed to become partner does not equal a good streamer. And that is Twitch being lazy and giving a number and a value to somebody's worth on Twitch with a stupid number because there are so many people that don't have a 75 viewer average count and should be partner because they are amazing streamers and they do so much for community and building community. So there's my little rant with Twitch and their statistics. I think they're bullshit, but you got to play that game if that's what you want to do.
If you
You
want
got
to
to
get
play
partner.
that game. Yeah, you got to play that game if you want a stupid little check mark by your name. And I just wanted it because I wanted more emotes and I wanted
Right?
trans
See, I'm not
coding.
the only one, chat.
Like,
having
I
a problem
just
with
wanted more emotes.
I have
and
a problem
wanted
with
trans
emotes.
coding. Right. Let's say you do have a stream where the numbers aren't what you expect or you're used to. How do you get over the hump of do people hate me? Am I completely shit? I have to remind myself that like I actually do worse numbers during October because everybody jumps onto the I want to be a horror streamer bandwagon and start streaming horror games when maybe they're like a variety streamer or they play mostly like I don't know like Nintendo games or something, the Nintendo branded games or something. And suddenly now they're playing all the horror games for Halloween. And so my numbers always go down in September, October. And I have to remind myself that it's a saturation of what I'm playing. It's not a reflection on me. And, if I have a bad stream, like I have to stop and think like, was my attitude inappropriate? Because people know when you're not having a good time on stream.
Yeah,
like
they do.
when you're in a bad mood, you're not feeling well, you're being negative, like no matter how much you try and mask that, everybody's going to see through your bullshit. And that can drop your numbers because nobody wants to sit in on a stream and spend their time watching somebody that is not having a good time. Like, why would you do that? You're going into a stream to hang out with somebody that's having a good time. So I have to stop and think. I was like, okay, was I in a bad mood today? Was I not feeling well? Was I kind of like not interacting with chat. And I have to think like, okay, did I do something wrong? And then when you realize like, no, it wasn't me, you're like, okay, it was just, maybe it was a bad game choice, or maybe, like everybody's playing Fatal Frame 5 right now. I'm not playing Fatal Frame 5 for like a week, so maybe my numbers, might be off because everybody else is, moving over to the game they want to watch right now. And that's not really a reflection of me as a streamer. It's just the trend of what people want to watch at the time. And so you have to remind yourself that trends ebb and flow, and it's not necessarily you. It's just people want to watch what they want to watch, and you might not be playing what they want to watch. So
absolutely fantastic game though. It's my first time ever playing it. I was so hyped.
Are you liking it?
I am so liking it. I like
That's
how
awesome.
The controls are so different from what I was used to from 1 and 2 and 3. I was like, oh, what is this? Why you can move back and forth? I was having so much fun with it.
Yeah, I have it installed on my PS4 and 5, but I just haven't gotten to it yet. It's on the docket, but yeah, I was like, we'll get to it because I played it enough times on the Wii U that I'm not like on the, oh my god, I've never played it before bandwagon. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, let all the people that have never played it before like enjoy their launch, and all of us people that have played it before, like I can wait, I'll wait a week or two and then I'll play it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's one of the solids on your channel. You're always playing something Fatal Frame.
Yeah, I Fatal Frame's my favorite horror franchise. My friend introduced it to me with Fatal Frame 2, and I was like, wow, I appreciate it. Like, I grew up with like Resident Evil and Silent Hill and like Fear Effect and like Dino Crisis and like those ones, and this one was just such a different feeling. That when I first played Fatal Frame 2 first, I was like, oh wow, like this is fucking scary. Like I love this. This is something different to me. And it was kind of what I would consider my first introduction into what I would call like quote unquote Japanese horror. Mm-hmm. An Asian horror versus like your sort of like westernized action horror, which is Resident Evil, and your kind of like mystery horror, which is like Silent Hill. And then you have Asian horror, which was like the Fatal Frame. And I just absolutely loved it. I love the stories. I love the characters, and the entire franchise I love because every single character is connected to one another, either by blood or marriage or some sort of association throughout the entire franchise. And they've done just an amazing job, I think, with the storyline.
Yeah, Asian horror has a different feel than Western horror. It has that weird feeling of uncomfortableness as soon as you start. So yeah. It's like, what is that? I don't know. There's nothing scary happened yet, but that tension is up to my neck.
Yeah, and I have this like, I love Western horror, but Western horror tends to be very like gory and bloody and focuses a lot on like, mm-hmm. shock value and like I said, like gore, and I love gore. Gore is amazing. I absolutely love gore. Mm-hmm. But Asian horror likes to build an environment and likes to build uneasiness, and they like to touch on taboo subjects, either for for their culture or just in general. And I always find that very fascinating that, and there is like blood and gore and stuff in them, but for the most part it's touching on like taboo, and it's touching on making an environment uncomfortable. And they use a lot of sound to make horror, and I love sound quality. Like sound is my number one thing in games. Like I don't care what the graphics are, I don't care if like the controls are terrible, I'll figure them out. But if your sound quality is poor, you're not going to make the atmosphere for horror for me. So, and I think that Asian horror and like Fatal Frame, you can have complete silence and just like background ambiance noise, and that is so scary.
Yeah, like
in comparison to like something jumping out at you.
Kuon and Fatal Frame, those games you start off and go, I'm gonna pee my pants.
Right.
You just hear the music, it's like, I'm gonna pee my pants because this is scary already.
Absolutely.
It's so good though. Yeah. Okay, so what is your all-time favorite game to stream? Is it Fatal Frame, or do you have another one?
I like anytime anybody's like, let's play Fatal Frame, I'm like, okay, let's do this. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so I'll never say no to a Fatal Frame game. They're probably one of my favorites to play. Same thing with like Silent Hill 2 and 3. 3's my favorite, but like Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3. Anytime somebody's like, let's play one of those, I'm like, yeah, I'm on board. Let's do this, you know. I'm a really big fan of Them and Us, which is from an indie developer. It kind of has like an old school Resident Evil, Silent Hill sort of feel to it, and I think they did just an amazing job with that game. It's only available on PC right now, but like that game, anytime somebody's like, let's play Them and Us, I'm like, yeah. Or I like showcasing because I do, since I'm a huge video game collector and I have all my games are physical media with the exception of anything that's on Steam. I love showcasing games that like people have never seen before. So, you know, not to say that people haven't seen like Rule of Rose or Haunting Ground, but you know, people that actually own physical copies of those, you know, games that are really
I do have
expensive
Rule of
and
Rose.
yeah, games that are really expensive and really rare to find, you know, like Kuon and things like that. I love showcasing those. And then anytime, like I just find some weird indie game on Steam or Itch.io, I'm just like, let's try this out because those ones are scary. Like
Yeah,
indie
they
games
are.
are the way to go if you want some good horror. And
Summer
I
of
like,
58. Ooh.
yeah, and I like showing people that like you don't have to be, you know, a 5-star big name. Nothing wrong with like, you know, any of those, but like you don't have to be a 5-star well-known studio to produce an amazing title.
It's
You know,
true.
you can be this smaller company. You don't have to have the best graphics, but if you're a good storyteller and can create that tense atmosphere, people are going to enjoy your game.
Yeah, I'm an indie game junkie, horror game junkie. I'm always looking through the Steam sales. Oh, I'll take this one and that one. It's like, where did you
Yeah.
find that? It's like Steam.
And it's really funny because I never used Steam before until about January of 2019, and my friends gave me Doki Doki Literature Club, and at
Oh.
the time that was the only way you could play it,
Mhm.
and I was like, I want to see what everybody's freaking out about this game. So like, I'm actually really new in relative terms to Steam, and I was like, oh wow, there's so many indie horror games on here. This is great because I was straight console. You know, I didn't do PC games at all. So I'm a console bred person, and going over to PC games has definitely opened up a lot of really cool horror titles for me. So
So you prefer the consoles?
yeah, because of my fibromyalgia and like sometimes my hands don't work very well. Like it's like I don't have arthritis or anything, but I would equate it to somebody that has arthritis, and like the joints and bones in my hands can hurt really. They can get tired really quickly and they can be really, really painful.
Hmm.
And sometimes mouse and keyboard is just not you know, really well. And so I've always liked controllers, and you know, holding a PlayStation controller, because PlayStation controllers like fits my hand perfectly.
Mhm.
I don't get the same pain in my hands and my wrists and my fingers, and I can play longer. Um, but now that a lot of PC games now actually have like controller support option, that's
Which is
really nice
nice.
because yeah, because I mean, I always play with a controller unless the game has no controller support.
Yeah.
It's just it feels more comfortable and it's not as taxing upon all of my joints and bones. So
Yeah, it makes. I only play a few games that are mouse and keyboard, like 7 Days to Die and things like that. But otherwise, it's always controller. I don't know, it's
yeah,
just
I've
easier for me. I don't know why. I'm like,
yeah,
that is
I've
doing
always been
something
a
way over there.
controller person. You know, if you're playing like a shooter or something competitive, you might not be at the highest advantage with a controller because of just, you know, being able to point and move, and just the mouse is always a lot of better. But yeah, for accessibility reasons, I always like the controller better.
I missed the game you said you were going to be playing on the Scarathon.
It's called Horror Tale the Wine. I'll put it in chat.
Horror Tale the One. I think I heard something about that. That's why it rung a bell. Hmm.
Yeah, it looks creepy. It's not a horribly long game. It's indie. I've never played it before. I always try and play a game that I've never played. I always try and do a debut game, like a first play game on Scarathon, because I feel like you get a better reaction out of that. And I like playing stuff that like nobody on that Scarathon list is playing. So, you know, I like, everybody's like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
more stuff. Nobody knows what it is. But again, I like to showcase games that are indie titles because there's just so many out there that are so good. And I've been very blessed recently to be given some stream keys for various indie horror games.
That's cool.
Which, you know, is really awesome from the developers because I'm like, hell yeah, I'll play this on stream. Let's try this out, you know?
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna
Let's
try
see what this
anything
is
once,
about.
even if it sucks, I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you never know until you try it whether or not it's going to be an entertaining game, and everybody has their likes and dislikes, but I'll give it a whirl, you know, especially if it's free.
There's a one
And
indie game that's coming out, The Mortuary Assistant. They just updated their demo and it looks scary as heck.
yeah, I just got told about that the other night from a friend, and I just stuck it on my wish list because I was like, what is this? And that's also why I like the horror community, because like a lot of us that are part of the horror community, we all share games. Like I creep on a lot of my friends Steam wish lists and like the games that they've played, or if they've seen something that they really like, they're like, hey, I think you would really like this. And we kind of try and, you know, share the games with one another to, you know, try out and find new things. Or if I'm watching a stream that like Dame Butter the Fourth is playing, because he always finds weird indie games, and I'm like, what the hell is this? He's like, oh, you will totally like this, get it on your wish list. Like,
it's weird,
yeah,
you'll like it.
yeah, it's weird, you'll like it. You know, I go over to Thievis Fox. He plays a lot of indie games on his channel. He's a variety streamer, but he does spooky Saturdays or spooky Sundays, spooky Saturdays, spooky Sundays. One of those days he does spooky games every week, for sure. And I always like crawl my way over there and I'm like, what are you playing? And like, or like anybody that's on my you know, that I follow, if I see them playing a game I've never seen before, I like click over to their channel, and I might not speak up, but I'll sit there and lurk and be like, what is this?
I'm gonna
Go
come over here.
check
What are you playing? This looks neat.
yeah, you know, and be like, what are you playing? Tell me what this is. Put it on my wish list.
Yeah, the horror community is like that. It's like, hey, what's that? Oh, I'm gonna go play that. I'm gonna go check that out. It's good. It's good.
And that's why like horror community is best community, because everybody in it is just so nice and so friendly and so wanting to just like share. They're like, oh my god, I just played this really cool game, and
yeah,
I've always had just a good experience with everybody in the horror community. So
yeah. All right, what are the future goals of your channel? Are you just gonna
oh my god,
still do the same thing that you're doing, or you got something planned?
I mean, like, I want to get sponsored by Squishmallows, damn it. Like,
we're gonna make this happen.
You know, it's hard as a streamer, especially a cameraless streamer. And here's a disadvantage to cameraless streamers, to get sponsorship, because like, you know, people like Corsair, people like Elgato, you know, any of those, like, you know, energy drinks or anything like that, or energy powders or whatever those things are, like they want you to be able to show it on the screen and show their product, which is, you know, obviously applicable. But yeah, trying to get like sponsorships or somebody interested in you in a channel when you're a cameraless streamer is exceptionally difficult. And so goal would be to actually get sponsored by somebody I want to be sponsored, and not Raid Shadow Legends. Yeah, and not Raid Shadow Legends. So like, and like I want things that like I actually want to like use, because sometimes like I feel like people drink like Sneak energy because Sneak sponsored them, but like, do you really like Sneak? Are you sitting there and you're only drinking it on stream because you're getting sponsored by them? Like, you know, I want things that like I personally enjoy. Like if Dawn Dish Soap wants to sponsor me, I fucking love Dawn Dish Soap and it's practical. If Charmin toilet paper wants to sponsor me, I have to wipe my ass a lot. Like sponsor me with products that I actually want to use. Like, and it's silly because I'm like, why aren't we getting sponsored by like, you're always thinking about like gaming things and like, everybody's like, I want a Corsair and I want this and I want Elgato on me and I want, Nvidia and all these people. And I'm like, I just want toilet paper and dish soap. Like, what's a girl got to do to get sponsorship by these people,
Yeah, they would make a killing for things like the back supports in chairs or comfy heated slippers.
Yeah, and I'm like, I feel like some of these companies would actually be missing out on streamers that want practical items for sponsorship. Like, you want me to show Dawn dish soap on stream? Like, I totally will. And, so maybe goals, I guess, would be like find a sponsorship that's practical and roll with them. I always keep trying to get into GDQ for hosting, and they always keep rejecting me. So maybe one day I will not be rejected for a hosting shift at GDQ, but I keep trying and hopefully keep improving. So that's always been that's like a goal.
Maybe you can do something with your voice acting.
Yeah, and then that's the other thing is like a side note away from Twitch. Like, I actually want to like get on the horse and like stop slacking and actually like try and do something with my voice with voice acting because it's fun and I enjoy it. And people are like, you should do what you enjoy and make money off of what you enjoy. And I'm like, well, okay, So yeah, that would be more of like a life goal, not necessarily, integrated with Twitch, because it would be really cool or fun to do voices for like an anime or a cartoon or a video game or something like that. So
yeah.
And I always say, indie devs, you need a voice. Let me know.
There you go. Indie games, please come. I have a really nice voice.
Yeah, and I can do more than just like, cutesy like small child voice, so. Yeah, well, not really, but my
nice,
normal
soothing,
voice,
calm, casual voice, not loud or anything. So
yeah, it's kind of funny when I first started streaming. Like, I used to get told that my voice was really like nasally, or that like I had a terrible voice, and I was always really self-conscious about it. And when I started streaming, I would actually listen back. I wouldn't watch, but I would listen back my previous streams to listen to like voice quality and audio quality and tonality and stuff. And I went from a cheap headset to a nice Rode microphone, and the Rode microphone is I love this microphone. Rode sponsor me.
Microphone.
Yeah, Rode sponsor me because I love your stuff. If any electronic place wants to sponsor me, it would be Rode. Rode, please sponsor me. But yeah, I went to a Rode microphone, and their microphone is really, really well made, and I think does a really good job for like my tone and pitch of my voice. But yeah, I actually listened back, and I learned that like I mumbled a lot and I didn't pronunciate my words very well. And so I learned from listening back to my previous broadcasts, like how to pronunciate words, not mumble, like open your mouth and like, talk better, because you don't realize that stuff when you're just talking normally, right? It's like, but when you listen it back, you're like, oh, that might have been really difficult for a viewer to understand, or it just sounds like I'm mumbling the entire time. So and it's really awkward listening to yourself.
Don't even get me started on that.
Right. But if you can get over that hump of like, wow, it's really weird listening to myself speak, and use it as a tool to improve, then it's a lot better. And of course, when I started using the closed caption software, you have to pronunciate your words a little bit better and things like that in order for the closed captioning to pick up on it properly. And closed captions always makes funny mistakes anyway, but
yeah, you can run an entire stream just on those because of the things that it comes up
exactly
with.
But yeah, when you start to learn that like you have to say things a certain way, and like I'm from Western United States, so I don't really have an accent like in the grand scheme of like American accents and like regional accents. And so you just have to learn how to make sure that you're just really well understood and well heard. So
yeah, I don't have one either unless I say certain words. I'm in Pennsylvania, So in Pittsburgh area has a very distinct accent. We say really strange words. Like instead of saying downtown, we say downtown. We kind of like spread it out. It's really weird. And sometimes I catch myself doing it and go, "Ah, I did it again." So it doesn't show up on the captions. It's like, what? What did I just say?
Yeah. Captions said Dawn Times.
Yep. See. Yep. It doesn't pick it up. So
Yeah, my parents are from Long Island, and so and then they moved out west in the 80s and like 70s and 80s, actually in the 70s, and so sometimes some of my words sound kind of like that because my parents were from New York, and that's what I grew up hearing was like their kind of Long Island Jewish sounding accent. And yeah, and having to be like, oh, I can't say it like that. Like I've got to, okay, how would somebody out in like California pronounce this? Okay. So.
Okay, so maybe sponsors. Are you gonna maybe in the future make
Cork method? I'm not sure what cork method is. Sorry, I saw
Cork?
Ideal Wish.
Oh, cork method for pronunciation.
I don't know what that is. I'd have to look that up. So no, I've never used that.
Hey Bullets, what's up?
But sorry, what was your question?
I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh, there it is, right there on the paper. So, were you ever going to make a YouTube channel and put things on there? I know they.
I do have a YouTube channel.
You have a YouTube channel since when?
Since always. I actually started a YouTube channel to put up my anime music videos, and I've only made like a couple. I've only made a couple of anime music videos, but it was for like me and like my friends that make anime music videos for conventions to like post our contest entries online, and then I was like, oh, I guess I could dump some like, you know, highlights and clips and playthroughs of games on here, but like I haven't really branched out into really putting a ton of stuff on YouTube, because that definitely takes a lot of time with like editing.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, I still work a 40-hour-a-week job, and then I stream 4 days a week, and
see, that's one thing I can't balance yet because I just started working again. So it's like, how do I do both? And sometimes it's just like, no, I can't. Just 2 days a week.
Right. And yeah, so I think like if I didn't have my 40-hour-a-week job, like there would definitely be more time for side projects and things like that. And if streaming was my full-time job, that would be definitely something I would be more invested in. But as somebody where, again, this is just, it's a hobby for me. It's not a career choice. Because my job provides me with health insurance and a 401k. So, you know, that's something Twitch can never provide me with. It's hard for me to find, you got to sleep at some point, right?
Yeah.
You got to sleep at some
a lot.
Yeah, and just like Desk Game says, you got to find the right balance. And so you can't do it all, and you can't have everything unless you have the funds and the money and that kind of ability to pay people to do it for you, and getting a full-time editor to edit for you on like YouTube or something can get expensive very quickly. And yeah, I personally just don't have the funds or the volition to do that. So
have you ever done TwitchCon?
I have not. So since I only really started Twitch in 2018, and then the first TwitchCon was 2019 that I would have like known about, and then 2020 got canceled.
Yeah.
Since I haven't been around on Twitch for a very long time. It's not something that I've gone to. I want to go to it. I know they said they're gonna do it again in October, and like it's one of the worst months for me for busyness at my full-time job. So honestly, it just really depends on what my schedule is going to look like at work next year, and what weekend
Yeah, that
they
would be
pick.
cool. That would be cool.
Right. So like I do really want to go, but you know, if they put it at the beginning of the month, I'll probably be able to go. If they put it at the end of the month, I'm gonna be like, no, I can't do this. You know, so
Right.
it really just depends on when Twitch decides to do it. And then everybody's like, well, then go to the summer one in Netherlands. And I'm like, yeah, it's a lot more expensive, you know, like,
Yeah.
wouldn't that be nice? But yeah, you cost.
Yes.
So
Yeah. You gotta give me the money for that.
well, and it's a lot different flying out to like LA or San Diego for a weekend versus flying across the ocean to, you know, Amsterdam. Like if I'm gonna fly to Amsterdam, I'm gonna take a fucking vacation, right? Like I'm not just gonna go over there for the weekend. Whereas like I can go to LA for the weekend, and it's fine by me. It's not, you know, I can deal with just like a long weekend in LA versus like if I'm gonna spend the time and the money to go to Amsterdam, I'm gonna actually do it in more than 3 days. So
Yeah. Vacation, wouldn't that be nice?
right, yeah. So
Okay. So for people just starting out, what would be one piece of advice you would give them starting out in streaming?
one of the things I always say when you start out streaming is what was told to me when I started streaming was how do I put this? Have a goal, but don't make it an unachievable goal. Like if you go into streaming and you're like, I'm going to be partner, you're going to be frustrated really quickly. You know, like things that were told to me is stream to have fun, stream to meet people, and then build from there. And so if you're not having fun and you're not meeting cool people, then why the hell are you doing this? You know, don't go into streaming wanting to be as popular as Ninja or making a ton of money or quitting your day job or, you know, making partner in a year or something like that. Like go into streaming to have fun and meet cool people because that's going to be a lot more satisfying and build from there. Because I think sometimes people have this unrealistic expectation. They're just like, I bought all this cool equipment and I'm really good at this game and everybody's going to watch me because I'm good at this game and I have all this amazing equipment. And then they get no views or they get low views and they get really disappointed and really frustrated really quickly. And then again, it's the entertainment industry. It's honestly what this is. If you want to do well, you've got to go out and talk to people and you've got to meet people and you've got to go into communities. And as I said to people, I'm a horror streamer. If I go into a stream that's playing Mario, I'm not going to meet the right audience that wants to be part of my stream. I'm not going to become part of a community that is going to want to share in my enjoyment. Now, that's not saying that like people that watch Mario streams don't like horror, but the majority of them are going to be more interested in Mario and Mario speedruns and things like that. They're not going to give a shit about some random horror indie game.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, if you are trying to quote unquote network and make new friends, you've got to do it smart and you've got to do it with the right communities. And find like people. Like you wouldn't be like at an anime convention and go to like a Western stock show and start talking to people about anime. People are going to look at you like, what the fuck? This is not the fandom for that. And the same thing is true for Twitch, that, you know, if you like horror games, go into other horror streams, and that's how you're going to find people and build a community. And it's not like stealing viewers or anything. Like you are making friends and building community, and those people are hopefully going to want to watch you, and you're going to want to watch them and, you know, connect with them. And you know, that being said, like I have a lot of friends that do play variety games and I poke in on their games and stuff, and I really enjoy their content because it's nice and refreshing to be in a stream that is playing something different than what I play. But I'm not really expecting to grow from their community, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, yeah.
And I think people need to realize that like you can sit and absolutely love watching horror streams and be the best buds with a horror streamer, but if you are a Zelda streamer, my community is probably not going to hang around in your channel because they all like watching horror, right?
Right.
They don't watch Zelda. I mean, a few of them might, hooray, but like, you know, if I bring you a 600 if I bring you a 100-person raid from my channel to a Legend of Zelda stream, not a lot of people is going to follow, and not a lot of people are going to stick around because that's just not their cup of tea. That's not what they like to watch. So not that it's a bad thing, but you have to connect with people. You have to connect with people that share similar interests, even in video games, to grow as a channel and to actually understand that, you know, what.
Yep, that's how you this person will go, oh, I'll rate this person, and then goes, hey, I like that person, I'll follow this person, and it just starts the chain.
Yeah, and that's why you meet new people and you bloom, and that's why you know, raid choice for a streamer is actually really important. Like who you choose to take your community to. A, is that a safe community to drop your community off in, and B, like, are they going to enjoy that content? And you know, I've raided into channels before where I'm like, I'm not sure if they're gonna like this content, but I think they're gonna like this personality, and people end up finding another type of community that they like. But then, you know, sometimes I'm just like, I feel really bad because I'm like, I really want to raid this person. Oh my god, they're not anywhere close to playing what I'm playing. Like, is my community even gonna like give a shit about this person? And you know, so it's always kind of.
Yeah, my nerves always hike up when I want to raid somebody new. It's like,
Yeah, and I always say vouch. Like, don't just raid a rando. Like, people raid randos all the time, and I am 100% against that because, like, especially as an LGBTQIA plus streamer and a huge community in that regard, like, I want to vouch and make sure my community is safe and like they're not an asshole, or like, you know, if you are like, oh cool, this person's streaming the same game I am, I'm gonna go over there, and then they don't interact with your community at all, you're like,
I feel
awkward.
like an
Sorry.
asshole.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this is awkward, right?
Yep.
Like, so I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, vouch for who you raid before you raid them, because like, I might go check out a new streamer on my own. Like, I'm always checking out my recommended tab on the side where it says recommended channels. I'm always creepering on that. And on my own time, I go and I check out these channels that keep getting recommended to me. And if I enjoy the streamer, if I enjoy the presence, if their community seems like they're really cool and like would mesh with mine, then I'll drop them a follow and I'll raid into them, you know, at a later point in a later day. But like, yeah, randomly picking somebody because, you know, your friend told you to, or because they're just streaming the same game, like, wow, you might be in for
yeah, I can't do that. I'm like you. I have to go and scope them out first before I bring
yeah,
my people
and
over.
exactly, I always say scope them out, and people that like blind raid, I'm like, you're ballsy as fuck, like, because how do you know that, like, you know, I didn't just raid into a completely asshole-ish stream, or a streamer that ignores their channel, or, you know, just a channel that's not going to mesh with the dynamic. You know, like, I'm a calm streamer. I'm a calm, you know, I'm like everybody's sleepy time stream. People fall asleep to my stream and I love it because they feel calm and safe and stuff. And me raiding into an over-the-top hype streamer, even if they're a really good streamer and playing like a game I really love, that energy might be completely opposite of what my community wants. And so you've got to be aware of that. And like, yeah, you've got to be aware of that. Like, if everybody in my stream is nice and calm and collected, and we're all just kind of like shooting the shit and we're not super chatty, and then you go into this over the top, lights flashing, loud noises, memes all over the place, like just intense, crazy stream, like, people are going to get overwhelmed, and it might not be the right choice for your community. So again, it's like knowing your community and knowing what your community would like to watch, I think, is a better choice than just picking anybody or picking somebody's friend.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I'm a little humble streamer, but I agree with that. I want to protect my people.
It's your people. It's your people. Like anybody that knows me knows that like if you come into my stream and I like piss on you and claim you as mine, like I'll fucking fight for you. Like I'm gonna go Mama Avium on people.
Oh,
Don't fuck with my community. Like I will rip you a fucking new one. You're mine.
see that?
So
This is why I love her so much.
like you're mine. I'm gonna rip you a new one.
All right, so we're getting
So
on to the last question. Are you ready?
yeah.
What's the best compliment you've ever gotten? It's kind of off the wall.
Best compliment I've ever gotten.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is kind of like a twofold like response there, but the best compliment I ever got was that somebody chose to and this is multiple people. I'm not like singling out any specific individual, but I've had multiple people come to me because I'm very open about my health and like especially my mental health. That and even on stream I talk about it a lot, and in my Discord we talk about it. But I've actually had people come to me and said, "Hey, you were my inspiration to go to therapy, and you were my inspiration to go seek help and realize that I was not okay and that I needed help." And to me, like I don't care about the video games. Like if me just talking about my life and being real with people and like sharing my experiences in life, both good and bad, if that pushes somebody to a better place in their own life, or choosing to take control of their life or take back control of their life or choose themselves and choose self-care, that's the biggest compliment that I can get. Like there's people in my community that have come out as gay or lesbian or bi or pan. There's people that have come out as trans in my channel that never felt safe anywhere. And that's the biggest fucking compliment that I can get, that I have created a safe enough space that people can be themselves and explore themselves and make themselves a better person and realize that you're actually worth it. You're worth the time that you invest in yourself, and like fuck anybody that tells you otherwise. And to me, it's not about the games. It's not about how well I play. It's about the people in the community, because at the end of the day, I know I saved somebody's life, and that's an amazing feeling.
That is amazing that you pointed somebody in the right direction to like, oh, okay, maybe
Or
I
at
do
least
need
gave
help.
them the confidence to realize that
Yeah,
like the bus doesn't stop there. There's more, that keeps going. Like you can do this. No matter how messy life is, like you can do this, because life's messy.
yeah, you definitely are the mama streamer.
I know, and I'm not even a mom. I hate kids. Like I don't even like children, but I think I have more of like a protective quality to myself sometimes, where I'm just like, man,
Every friend group has one. That mom that's like, no, 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 you can do this. That backs you up, tells you to eat your food, get enough sleep. That person. There's always that one person in the group.
even though I'm not that person, and my chat has to yell at me to like eat
Oh no, I
and
didn't say that
drink.
person took care of themselves. I just said they
Yeah,
take care of other people.
I don't take care of myself for shit, but I'll watch out for everybody else. That's for sure. So,
But yeah, that's an amazing thing, Sarah. You should be very proud of that.
yeah, I am. I was telling my therapist about that the other day, and I was like, if anything, through all the trials and tribulations I've had within the last like 5-6 years of my life, like this feels good to have somebody be like, I went to therapy because I heard you talking about it, and I was like, if this person can do it, I can do it too. And I'm like, fuck yeah, or I shouldn't be ashamed for being who I am, and that there is a community that loves me and supports me and doesn't give a damn, what gender or what or sexual orientation or what color your skin is. Like, are you a gamer? Do you like video games? Do you want to be like, you want to be friends? Like, you want to talk nerdy to me? Like, you want to talk about chicken nuggets? Like,
Right?
let's do this.
Yeah, life is way too short. I found that out. It's like you it could be over in an instant. So just live, live what you can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And life's too short to put up with a bunch of shitty people too. So.
Exactly. Well, that's my last question.
Yay! That was easy.
Yay! I'm not gonna lie. I was so nervous when I started. I'm like, I'm gonna throw up on this podcast.
I'm just a normal person. I sit around and and that's what everybody thinks. That's always a weird thing. Being a streamer is when people are like, "You make me nervous," and I'm like, "Why?" I sit around with no makeup on and I don't have a bra on. I'm in a tank top and sweatpants.
No, it's just the level of respect that I have for you and your community and your channel. I admire you so much and everything you stand for. So it's like I'm interviewing my favorite horror streamer. It's like going to meet your favorite author and throwing up on their shoes.
Throwing up, please don't throw up. Yeah, no, honestly, I think it's just finding good humans, and when you find good humans and good people that you share similar life experiences or just outlooks on life with, then you're just like, yay. But I'm just a normal person. Yay, I work a 40-hour job.
I know you're a normal person, but
I take care of my mom. I drive a fucking Subaru. I'm a normal person.
Oh. But I want to thank you so much for coming on my humble little channel.
Yay!
I know you worked all day.
Me. Thanks for having me. Thanks for squeezing me in, even though I know it's late for you.
That's okay. I mean, it was worth it. It was worth the time slot. And I got to play Fatal Frame today, so I'm all good.
Yay! I hope you continue to love Fatal Frame and Fatal Frame 5, and I hope that game does well so that maybe we can get more remasters.
That's what they're hoping. That's what the article I was reading is saying, is they're trying to bring it back by introducing it onto PC and all that, so people can fall in love with it again. So it's like...
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, and I think it's a great time because Resident Evil has had such amazing success with their remakes and their remasters and pushing it out to multiple consoles. Square Enix has done an amazing job pushing out Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest and all of their JRPGs out to more than just exclusivity on PlayStation or Nintendo, and pushing their games out. Atlas has been doing the same thing with the Persona franchise, and a lot of these games are finally being wow, if we put this on multiple consoles and also hit up the PC market, we're gonna make more money, and they're going to be, people still want to play this stuff. And I think we're actually seeing a really good resurgence of horror, and especially in the indie game way, people are noticing that people will spend money to play these horror titles, and that you're not wasting your time. You don't have to, no offense, you don't have to be a Call of Duty person and put out the same shit every year. You can make these unique titles that are super story rich with these really involved characters, and people are gonna love it. And there, a lot of people are wanting these remasters, and we've seen so many remasters on the Xbox and the PlayStation, with Spyro and Crash Bandicoot and all of these older PS1 and titles all coming back, and you're just yes, and people want that stuff for a whole new generation of nerds. So yeah, I'm so excited, and I hope this game does really, really, really well for Tecmo, for Koei Tecmo.
I was so excited to see all the people streaming the Maiden of Blackwater. I was like, yes, bring it back.
Yeah, and it's so, and getting it off the exclusive Wii U and getting it on to PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. You're hitting up every single major console in every single major way that anybody can play it, and that's the way to do. Fuck exclusivity of video games. Let people pick how they want to play it, whether it be a console, gaming on the go, or a PC. We have devices that can handle these games. Put them out on everything, because you're gonna make the money. Yeah, you're gonna make the money. So I love it. I love it.
It's so great. Well, okay. Well, thank you again, Sarah, for coming. If you do not follow Seravium, you should go do it now, or I'm gonna come bonk you in the nose.
Thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun.
Okay, and you're doing the Scarathon tomorrow, you said?
Yeah, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific, which is 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll be on Scarathon.
I'll be able to watch it. I'll be off of work.
Yeah,
Yay!
I'll be on Scarathon for 2 hours, raising money for Gamers Outreach. And yeah, I've got some cool incentives. I'm gonna do a Squishmallow giveaway during my
Your
during
very
my
own
segment.
Squishmallow.
Yeah, so yeah, I got a Squishmallow giveaway. We've got some cool incentives with my merchandise for that I'm doing some incentives with my merchandise. So come on over and have some fun and watch some amazing horror streamers all weekend long. It actually starts tonight at around midnight Eastern, and it goes all the way through Sunday at midnight. Well, I guess midnight Monday morning is when it stops. So all weekend at Scarathon.
Okay, so guys, you get that? So go check it out. You can drop off if you want, Sarah, or you can hang out. I'm gonna find somebody to raid.
All right, cool.
Okay, you gonna hang out?
You actually, I gotta go eat dinner because I'm starving.
Okay,
but
go ahead. No, go get your food.
Thank you so much for having me. And if you ever want like round 2, you just let me know.
Yes, ma'am. I will let you know. Thank you so much.
All right, bye bye.
Bye bye. All right, guys. Wasn't that awesome? I am so stoked. So you guys can hang out with me. I'll see if I can find somebody to raid, somebody playing something spooky, or you can go to bed. I'm not sure what time it is for everybody. Thank you, Desmondo. Ah, I feel so good. I got to interview Sarah. I'm so happy. Anyway, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna just go and fangirl around my dining room a couple of times and eat some chocolate bars. Okay. All right, let's see who we can find. Who's even streaming it this late at night? Oh, who's even streaming? You know what? Let's go raid somebody. My very first podcast. Good vibes. Thank you so much, Ideal. Let's go raid Elisa Prey. I don't know how long she's gonna be on. Looks like she's playing Hollow Knight. She was my very first interviewee for my favorite streamers. She's cool. She has a very soothing voice. She plays creepy games, stuff like Dark Souls and stuff like that. So give her a big hi hello from the pizza party. I love all of you. Thank you for joining me today. I will see you all Sunday for the stream with Sister Chan, okay? Good night, everybody. I love you. Remember to take care, brush your teeth, pet your cat, and hide that gun under your bed. Bye-bye.
But I believe. Do it. I believe it. Hey,